Chennaiya, your real estate guide. Nagaraj Chennaiya, the one-stop shop for all real estate needs. Call 408-805-4653 or log on to nagarajhome.com. Hi.
Hello, Bay Area. Welcome to the Real Estate Insider, the podcast where we explore the world of real estate with the leading experts and professionals. Hi, I'm Nagaraj Annaya, your host and a Bay Area realtor. Each week, I sit down with the industry insiders to uncover the trends, insights, and stories shaping the real estate market. In this episode, we are thrilled to welcome April Earl, a seasoned mortgage consultant who will break down the secrets to securing the right loan, navigating interest rates, and building a financial confidence. Hello, April. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Nagaraj. Thank you so much.
So, whether you're buying your first home, investing in property, or simply staying informed, this show is for you. Let's dive into today's conversation with April L. April, so listeners, if you have any questions, we are live on Bali 92.3, and today we are live on YouTube also. If you have any questions, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877-265-5992, 877-265-5992, or you can leave your comments on YouTube too. So if you have any question, give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92. Anything on the Bay Area real estate, this is the show where you should not miss out. April, let's start with the market update. What's going on with the market?
Mortgage-backed securities are really trying to break through and get better. They've been sitting very, very nice. We had some breaking news regarding the Treasury Secretary that was trying to give us some good news, and they're trying to influence mortgage rates through the 10-year Treasury yield. That actually could have us see some better rates in the upcoming future. And as energy prices hopefully drop, that will help as well. So interest rates are sitting nice. We're still expecting a little bit bigger drop, but they're sitting really nice right now.
So how are the rates today? So let's talk about both the ARM and 30-year fixed if somebody is shopping around.
Yeah, so 30-year fixed today, 0 points, 6.75%, and our 5.5 ARM fixed for 5 years and adjust every 5 years is sitting about 5.875% today.
I think it's not much more on the ARM rates, right? It is like almost the needle is almost the same in the middle after the new government came in also.
Yeah, the ARMs really haven't moved that much. The 30-year, the longer terms have moved a little bit here and there, but the ARM rates are kind of sitting pretty tight right now.
Yeah, that's good. I think for the lot of home buyers right now I think it's not panicking. I see that still the home buyers have a lot of confidence in this Bay Area real estate market. Okay, but today let's focus more on the H1B related stuff. Okay, so what are I think let's start with this one, right? Like, are you seeing any for the H1B buyers getting panicked in this market? I don't see that. What about in the low mortgage wise? Are you seeing any differences wise after the new government came in?
Not at all. Not at all. Anyone that are either permanent resident aliens or we have a lot of H1B visa, those are not changing at all. So as long as someone's on their H1B visa, that will continue, and there's no indication that that's going to change in the future.
Yeah, I too notice the same thing. The market has picked up so much. Any houses right now, even the last week, we have put an offer for Cupertino house. This is not in Cupertino, it's in the Campbell border, Campbell and the San Jose border, but still it's a San Jose stuff. That house was listed for 2 million and sold for more than 400K. Do you believe that 400K more than the list price? Okay, the comps were only for 2.25. Now let's start with what are the basic mortgage eligibility requirements for the H1B visa holders?
100% the same as anyone else. So it's just based on debt ratios and credit. As long as your credit is good and you have debt ratios are good, it's exactly the same as any other loan that we do.
Okay, so debt ratio, right? Like, let's talk about the debt ratio. What is the credit unions are right now offering? 50%?
50% back end ratio, correct.
And one more basic listeners, if we are live on a Bali 92.3 right now. Myself, realtor Nagaraj, and I'm talking to April. If you have any questions, do give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877-265-5992, 877-265-5992. If you're on YouTube, we are live on YouTube, also live. You can leave your comments also there. So we are discussing all about H1B and mortgage and even the real estate buying. So one more thing is like when they're on H1B, right? Should the H1B holders go with a traditional bank, a credit union, or a specialized lender? What do you say about that?
I think a lot of times a specialized lender understands the H1B visa folks a little bit better. Big banks and such can do those as well, but they're very black and white
Mhm.
with guidelines where I think, there are certain lenders that are a little bit more geared to being able to understand that people aren't going to default on their loans and not so black and white.
Okay, I think see, most of them might not be aware. The traditional bank is like you're talking about it's similar as a credit unions. Or what does that like mean?
So the credit unions are a little bit more lenient.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so traditional banks might also have overlays. So, big banks, Wells Fargo, some of those, Bank of America, some of those might have, in addition to regular guidelines, other overlays of things which they just are a little bit more conservative on that factor, and they're more black and white where they can't make exceptions. So some other lenders can make exceptions because they're doing portfolio lending
Mhm.
and can make exceptions to certain guidelines if they see fit.
Yeah, I think it's a well said. Like it depends on the buyer's qualifications. If the buyer has more, like for example, 2 million, 3 million savings, then maybe the specialized lender or like traditional bank like Wells Fargo might make a difference for them because they might get a better rate. But some home buyers doesn't want to move the stocks options to get a better rate. In that time, as you said, the credit union makes a difference. In your case, as we know that you does the in-house lending. Is that correct, April?
That is correct.
So in-house listeners, in-house lending means like basically they do it all in-house. Once the loan is funded, then they move to a credit union. That's a wonderful with working with the April or a loan lock because that is like basically they're more control over the requirements or the qualifications. Is that correct, April?
That's correct. Yeah, we look at it and they look at it a little bit more on their risk of default versus just black and white lending.
Okay. So, but one more thing, right? Like in this scenarios right now, right? Uh, what are these common reasons H1B mortgages get denied, and how can home buyers avoid them?
It's not necessarily H1B visa.
Mhm.
I would say it just is getting qualified and pre-approved up front.
Mhm.
If we're using RSU income, we need to look at that. Bonus income, we got to look at that properly. I would say there's very few times that once I get a loan in, does it get denied because those factors already have been considered up front on what their qualification is going to be. So it's just important that whatever that is, a lot of the H1B visa folks have the RSU income, have the bonus income. That all has to be calculated properly
Mhm.
before the loan is put in, so there are no surprises later on.
Yeah, I think one more thing we missed, the job is also valid when the loan is about to fund, right? Before doing a fund, you call the company where they work or the employer to make sure they're still working.
Yes. Well, and that's the thing too. If you have RSU income or bonus income and you change jobs, you can't use that income now with the new job because you have to wait a period of time. So definitely if you're looking at, changing jobs or anything in the future, make sure that you clear that with your loan officer first to make sure that any changes are allowed based on your qualification.
Yeah, and I think that's a valid one, listeners. Like if somebody is like took the pre-approval 2 months back, but you lost the job now, or like don't assume that but you're maybe you have 4 months or 5 months of last day of the work. Don't assume that like you still can qualify for the higher loan, right, April?
Yeah, correct. Severance, when you have severance pay and things like that, that doesn't guarantee you 3 years continuance or continuance in the future. So we can't use that. It has to be actually a job that has the income is going to continue in the future.
Yeah, listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaya, we are live on a Bali 92.3, and I'm talking to April L. We are discussing on the mortgage and the real estate and other stuffs. If you have any questions, anything on the Bay Area real estate, or you are a first-time home buyer, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877-265-5992. We are live on YouTube also. If you have any questions, you can leave the comments. If you're like basically thinking, I'm just scared to call you guys, don't worry about that. You can leave a comments there also. But let's talk about basically what are the biggest credit mistakes that can lead to mortgage denial.
Credit mistakes. Well, I would say obviously not paying things on time. So, if you already own a home and you don't pay the mortgage on time and we can't verify that, that could have some problems. But as far as credit problems, just keeping on time payments. That's probably one of the most important things. Also, keeping your line amount on your revolving credit at 30% or less. That's going to optimize your credit score.
Mhm.
So those are probably the most important things in a credit profile.
And I think one more thing is like before applying for a pre-approval, right? Or like basically before going into a contract, most of the times one of the mistakes they make is like they've not pulled the credit. That is also can cause the issues, right? Like that's why make sure your credit is pulled.
Absolutely. Because also what people don't realize, what they see on Credit Karma and all the other credit scores, there are a bunch of different credit models that are used. Mortgages use an old credit model, and typically credit scores are about 20 to 30 points lower than what people are seeing on their side. So there could be some discrepancies if they just assume that something is going to be based on Credit Karma or what their credit reporting agencies are telling them on their end.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest mistake. Don't assume the things because when you're doing a big purchases, never assume the things, especially on the mortgage stuff. Always get your questions answered, so you will not basically once you put in a EMD or earnest money deposit after your offer gets accepted, there's a possibility of losing it if your loan doesn't get approved.
Yeah, that is the one thing. I always want to make sure and look at credit because if people are going to extend their earnest money deposit, if they don't get approved, they're going to lose it. That's really a scary position to be in. So you definitely want to have your ducks lined up prior to putting in that money.
Okay. Listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaya, and I'm talking to April L. We are discussing all about the Bay Area real estate and a mortgage. If you have any questions, we are live on a Bali 92.3. You can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877-265-5992. 877-265-5992 or 877 Bali 92 877 Bali 92. One more misconception we have is like H1B buyers needs a 20% down minimum. Uh, what do you say about that?
No, absolutely not. No, you can qualify for the exact same loans as any person that is a citizen of the United States. It doesn't change at all. So you can put down less than maybe you only want to put down 10% because some of your investments you don't want to sell yet because of tax consequences or something. And maybe you want to keep that money in your account. So we can certainly do 10% down scenarios on jumbo loans as well.
Okay, so I think that's a valid thing, right? Like, instead of waiting for getting your 20% accumulated, or the second thing is like a lot of buyers might have been a worry is like, should I sell my stock or buy? Because they're worried about if I when is the right time to sell. So in that confusion states, like they can start with a 10% down, and there's no prepayment penalties for paying off the mortgages.
Correct.
So, listeners, let's take a quick break and we'll join you back.
If you are selling your Bay Area home, maximize your profit and minimize your stress with Nagraj Anaya, a mortgage and real estate expert. Nagraj Anaya understands the unique challenges Bay Area sellers face. He'll expertly price your home, market it to the right buyers, and negotiate the best possible deal. For a free consultation, call Nagraj Anaya today at 858-880-4577 or visit nagrajhomes.com. Bye.
Listeners, welcome back to the show. Myself, Realtor Nagraj Annaya, and I'm talking to April L, and we are discussing all about the Bay Area real estate and the mortgage. So, one more important thing is, and if, listeners, if you have any questions, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877-265-5992. Today, we are discussing more on the H1B related, like if somebody is on the H1B, what's the process of the buying and any issues with buying an H1B, because a lot of immigration related challenges are going on. But as we discussed initially, there are not much challenges or like any issues right now in buying on H1B. But one more thing is like, April, like how do lenders assess a credit worthiness for an H1B? H1B, it's all the same, right? Like it is not difference between green card or a citizen for the lenders access.
It is exactly the same. So there are no different guidelines for your status as far as visa or permanent resident. Everything,
Yeah,
as the guidelines are the same.
April, let's take the call. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hello, hi, good evening.
Hey, hi, good evening. Your name, please?
Hi, this is Srinidhi.
Hi, Srinidhi, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you. So I have a question, and well, we are in the market right now, and I've heard some of my friends, and I've also seen some, memes saying that, well, you just spoke about 10% down. So and they also say that we can put a 7% down, and then the 3% that you're having, eventually, yeah, you will be using that 10%, but then 7% down and the 3% that you can pay up immediately, maybe in a couple of days after that, because that will go to your principal amount, that will again reduce the interest rate. Is that true, or will that work, or what is the caveat to that, if it doesn't?
April, the question is like Srinidhi is saying, can we do it with as little as 7% down?
Okay, I'm hearing that question a couple different ways, so I'm not 100% sure. As far as 3%, if you're talking about 3% down payment, that would only be allowed for loans up to, I'm not even sure what it is today, but somewhere around $800,000 is a 3% down option. So when you get into the jumbo category, you really have to put 10% down, but I'm not sure if I heard you as far as, I don't know if you were talking about seller concessions being 3% to buy down the interest rate. Was that what you were talking about, or were you talking about actual down payment?
Mentioning it's a 7% down, not a 3%, but then, a 7% down, and then, add another 3% as a one-shot payment after it's closed. So that's what I was referring to.
I'm not aware of any 7% down program. I'm not understanding that exactly.
Srinidhi, to answer that, right, we can buy a house as little as a 5% down if it is not a jumbo loan. Okay, jumbo loan, in case of, especially in the South Bay and other stuff, right? The jumbo loans are like anything more than 1.1 or something right now. Okay, if it is anything under a 1.1, it depends on the county again, the jumbo loan qualifications. If it is under 1.1 or something based on the counties, you can buy it as little as a 5% down. You don't even need a 10% down. Okay. For some lenders, like even they can do for the jumbo loans as little as a 5% down. But only thing is caveats are the issues with that as little as a 5% down is the rates would be higher for you. Okay. To get the better rates, we always go with a 10% down. Since going with a 10% down, there would be basically you're dividing the loan into 10 plus 10. So basically 10% is your down payment, 10% would be your like another interest only loan, another one would be 80% down. So totally would be a 90% for you. But that's what would be a borrowing. That 10% If you're going with April as a very good rates in that, like in that 10%, you can pay off anytime. You can buy it now, and after maybe within a couple of days also you can pay off. Is that correct, April?
That is correct. Yeah, it's a line of credit. The additional 10% is just a line of credit.
So there is nothing called like that 7% maybe you're referring to jumbo loan or some lenders which is doing it for the jumbo loans, not for basically less than a jumbo loan, you know. Any questions, Srinidhi, on that?
No. I think yeah, that's fine. I mean, I got my answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Srinidhi. Do you have anything, Srinidhi?
Yeah, I have another question if it's okay.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. So I also heard that again, it all depends on the buyer's ability, how much one can pay on as a mortgage. So I was told, a couple of my friends said that they worked with their lender, considering the amount that they can pay. For example, if I as a buyer have the ability to pay up to $8,000 as mortgage, can that be worked out, in terms of interest and all of that, or is it not possible?
So I think, see, it's answer to your question that is based on your payments. Like, for example, if you're borrowing higher, that can't be done. If you're borrowing lower, you can still make 8,000 extra payments for you.
Okay, so that also depends on the amount that I'm borrowing from the bank. Okay.
Correct. Do you have anything to add, April, on that?
No, I think you answered it correctly.
Yeah. Srinidhi, any other follow-up questions, Srinidhi?
No, I think I'm good. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Srinidhi, and best of luck for your home buying journey. Listeners, if you have any questions, I think we have still a few minutes. We are live on a Bolly 92.3. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92. And one more thing, we are live on YouTube also. So if you have any questions, you can leave the comments there also. So we're discussing all about the mortgage options and on the H1B buying and the real estate also. So as we are discussing on the down payment, right? So there is nothing called like 10% or a 20%, minimum 20% required for the H1B. Everything is the same valid for the H1B also, right?
That is correct.
So yeah, I think, see, don't get hung upon like, should I sell a stock, not to sell a stock, what do I do? If you're in that kind of a confused mind, always start with the 10% down. And as we discussed, you can pay off anytime. Maybe as soon as the loan is funded also, you can pay off. But again, depends on the mortgage qualifications or your qualifications, how much you're making. That all needs to be understood to suggest you can go with the 10% or 20% down. So listeners, so April, if somebody wants to talk to you, what's the best way to contact you? You can give out your number.
My telephone number is 949-306-8100.
Yeah. So, and yeah, listeners, if you want to reach out to me also, right, you can go reach out to me at, always you can reach out to me from nagrajhomes.com. Click on a WhatsApp icon and easy to connect. And I think we have one more couple of questions, April, what we are getting right now. We have just a minute to, but one of the important question is like, can H1B holders get a pre-approved while waiting for the green card, right? I think it doesn't matter like if you're on H1B or you're waiting for your green card, doesn't matter for that.
It doesn't matter at all.
So you can basically, if you want to buy a house, you can start anytime your journey. Don't like basically keep on waiting for, you need to get a green card. Because if you keep on waiting for your, I think I was talking to one of the home buyer today. He was telling me, Nagaraj, if I would have bought a house 15 years back, I would have like basically got it in Saratoga for so lesser price. Now the home prices are so expensive, I can't even buy.
Yeah.
Home prices have gone up everywhere. This 2008 happened, but still it's gone up the prices anywhere. But listeners, don't worry about that. But if you have any questions anytime on the Bay Area real estate, do reach out to me on nagrajhome.com. Click on a WhatsApp icon. It's easy to connect with me. And thank you for listening to it. See you soon.